Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel ABAP series. In today's video, we will be jumping into the system and will be creating our first series view. Before jumping into the system, there is some theory concept which will be needed for creating the series view. So let us cover the theory concept first and we will be jumping into the system and creating our series view. So if you have watched my previous videos, I have already mentioned that we will be using new OpenSQL language for creating our CDS views. So SQL means structured query language and these are the sub languages of our SQL. DDL, DML and DCL. DDL means data definition language and DML means data manipulation language or we can call it as query language also and DCL means data control language. DDL is nothing but our CDS view creation or any table creation or whatever it will be. So it mainly refers to the creation. So it will be having create table, create view. These all are the syntax which will be our words, keywords we will be seeing while for the DDL and DML. So DML means whatever the CDS view we have created, we will be querying it or we will be updating that CDS view or we will be doing some operations on that CDS view which will be causing the manipulation of data. So that is called as DML. And DCL means data control language, which means we will be giving the authorization or we have to remove the access. All those things will be under DCL. So CDS, this is the core data services. If you see the definition of CDS, these are the collection of the languages whatever we have discussed earlier and we have the services and languages clubbed together where we can define and we can consume these views in a semantically rich data model. That means this has the stricter checks and it will be very easily understandable for the user. And if you go onto the system, we have annotations and we have the syntax checks, all those things which will make the CDS more rich data model. And these are the points which we have to keep in mind, like we cannot edit the repository objects, like whatever the CDS views we have created, we cannot edit those CDS views in our GUI. Whatever we have created, that can be editable only in ADT Eclipse integrated development environment. And we can consume the CDS views obviously in many other places. If we want to build a Power BI application, it will take you a lot of time and you have to do the complex operations and it as a developer you have to be very strong and it leads to be more cost efficient also. But when the CDS views come into picture, those things have become easier because we will be creating a CDS view and we will be simply consuming this view in the Power BI application or any other application we can say. Most of the things we will be clubbing in the CDS views only. And as mentioned, we can reuse the CDS views. We can reuse that CDS view in some other place or many places we can use. Okay, these are the types of CDS view, HANA CDS views and ABAP CDS views. So this explanation I have given in my previous videos also while giving the introduction to some of the features of HANA. I have explained why we have to choose the ABAP CDSUs. Now I will just segregate the key points here. So it will HANA CDS only runs on the HANA database, and we can our CDS views. ABAP CDS views can run on any database and supports all the databases. And this will be present in the database layer, and this will be in application server. And these views we have to create in database and application, and we have to keep in sync. All those concepts I have already explained in my previous video. We have the DDIC views available in our repository object. But why we are going for CDS views? Because we have some differences noted here, like it will support in all database management systems. This is fine, but we cannot do outer joins and unions in the DDIC views, and we can't do aggregations, grouping, no calculations we can perform on the DDIC views, and we cannot nest the DDIC views. That means we cannot use one CDS view in another CDS view. But coming to ABAP views, we can do nesting on our ABAP views. So coming to next slide, syntax rules. So all the keywords must be uppercase, or it should be either all uppercase or either all lowercase, or the first letter should be uppercase and all the remaining whatever we want we can next all should be lowercase. So these are one of the formats which is accepted, and these are the formats which are not accepted. And names are not case sensitive. Sorry, this one O is capital. So FR are small and O is capital. And names are not case sensitive, and we can define our CDS views names up to 30 characters. And if you are dealing with the numeric literals, it should be like this one 0 point. You should not simply mention 0.4 like that. And for character literals, it should be quoted in the single quotations. So this is all about the theory. So let's start creating a new CDS view. You have to click on new on your project. How to add a project into the Eclipse I have already explained in my previous video, while prerequisites in my previous video, which is prerequisites required for HANA. I have explained there how to install Eclipse and all the other steps needed. And you have to click on other repository object, and you can choose ABAP from here, or just search data definition and click on next. You have to give your name for your CDSU, Z first underscore CDS, and I'm giving CDS view. Okay, and I'm clicking on next. So I'm selecting this template, which is define view. If you see here, this is absolute. What is the latest one I will show you, and how to create, and what is the difference between the latest and this version of views in my next videos. So just start with the first view creation and click on finish. Your template will be ready. Okay, you have the template ready for your CDS view. Now what you have to do is If you see here, these are the annotations which came by default. So SQL view name, I will give one name, CV SQL first. I'm giving, and select from, I'm giving it as VBAK, and I'm giving the field as VBLN AUDAT, and I'm doing control space so that you will get the field names whatever you want from the table VBAK. So I'm saving it. So these are nothing but the annotations which came by default. I will talk in detail about annotations in my next video. For now, just ignore the annotations. This SQL name is the mandatory one. If you don't give, it will give you an error. And here a simple template has came up, which is define view, and the name whatever you have given while creating the view, that name is as it is there, and as select from, it came in the template. So I have to select the data from the data source, which is database table called as VBAK. So I have mentioned this table name, and this is called the field list. Whatever comes in these braces, this is called as field list. So whatever the fields which we have in this VBAK table, those things we have to mention here. And I'm saving this and I'm activating it. So now my view is activated, and this SQL will be generated whenever DDIC also. If you copy this one and go to your SAP screen and go to S11, and if you give this in your view will be generated and it will have the all the field names. So this is how the SQL view will be, and this is the CDS view. There is another way, like another format for writing the CDS view. That is, you have to remove these things, or else I will just do one thing. I will control shift less than, which means for commenting, and I am removing this to last, and I am giving key BBLN and AUDAT and AUART. Okay, and Control S for saving, Control F3 for activating. My view is activated now. So this is the other format for writing the CDS view, but which is preferable means this one, because if you give the name of your data source here by using the code completion technique, which means by doing the control space, you can get all the fields which are present in this table. So it is preferable to use the code completion technique, which makes us easier. And if you see here, this SQL view name we have and CDS view name we have. So what is the difference? So I will show you. This is the difference between SQL view versus CDS entity. SQL view is a data dictionary object, and as coming to CDS view entity, it doesn't exist on dictionary or database. And if you see in my GUI screen, we have very limited information available, but coming to CDS view, it carries more semantic data, and we have to explicitly define the client handling, and no explicit client handling is there in view entity, and both are coming to ABAP data types. So this is one of the variation between our SQL and CDS views. So we have learned how to create a CDS views in our today's video, and in my next video we will be starting creating the CDS view with the parameters and how to view the output and what are the differences between CDS view new version and this version. All those things we will be covering one by one. I hope this video is useful to you. Please do like, share and subscribe to this channel for more interesting videos.